Live now to Melbourne, the Commonwealth Games Chief Executive Officer Craig Phillips is speaking about that decision for Victoria to withdraw from hosting the Games.
The government's decision earlier today. Stated cost overruns, in our opinion, are a gross exaggeration and not reflective of the operational costs presented to the Victorian 2026 Organising Committee Board as recently as June this year. I'm a member of that Organising Committee Board. Beyond this, the Victorian Government willfully ignored recommendations to move events to purpose-built stadia in Melbourne and, in fact, remain wedded to proceeding with expensive temporary venues in regional Victoria. CGA welcomed the opportunity to review the financial analysis prepared independently of those who have been involved at the coalface of planning and delivery. We thank the dedicated staff at the Organising Committee and the Office of Commonwealth Games for their efforts, acknowledging that today will probably be one of the toughest days for them as they've worked so hard on delivering the Games. We also welcome the announced commitment to regional housing, a critical legacy component of the Games, wholeheartedly supported and encouraged from the outset by CGA. The Victorian Government, however, has jeopardised Melbourne and Victoria's standing as a sporting capital of the world. Thank you. Don't take questions. Thank you. Sorry, one at a time. We're not sure at this stage. Certainly the Victorian Government has not presented us with the details that we would need to have an analysis. We were notified the very first instance this morning by them at around 8 o'clock when I took a phone call. So we've had no detail provided to us by the Government.
Do you feel deceived by the Government?
We certainly feel let down by the Government. We're certainly very interested in seeing the numbers they're relying on in order to make the decision today. But at this point in time, a bit early to know exactly what is in those numbers.
What's your understanding of the negotiations with the Federation at the moment in regards to the host agreement? Do you know how much it would cost the State of Victoria to terminate that agreement?
Again, it's probably early days for that to be confirmed, but certainly there will continue to be costs associated with these games to the Government, even though the Government has now pulled the pin on the Games. There are people who have been employed on contracts. There's rental of buildings. So there has already been a commitment made to these Games. There's already been some expenditure to these Games. So there will certainly continue to be some costs associated with Games, even though the Games will not be delivered here in Victoria.
When you were briefed by the State Government in June, what were the costs then?
I can't disclose the amount because it's part of board in confidence discussions, but what I can say, as it was noted in the CGF media release earlier today, that the costs were less than 50% of those being quoted today by the Premier.